500 years ago, a disgraced diplomat sat in exile, writing letters that would change the world forever. His name was Niccolò Machiavelli, and while most people remember him as the ruthless strategist who said, "The ends justify the means," almost no one talks about what he really understood: silent wealth, invisible power, the art of building empires while others chase noise. Machiavelli wasn't just teaching princes how to rule. He was teaching anyone willing to listen how to accumulate power, influence, and yes, wealth, without announcing it to the world. And here's what's fascinating. His principles align perfectly with the ancient wisdom of King Solomon, the richest man in biblical history. Solomon wrote, "Even a fool is thought wise if he keeps silent." Machiavelli took that principle and weaponized it into 7 silent laws that still work today. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal those 7 silent laws. Each one is a key, and if you miss the last one, you won't understand how they all lock together. So stay with me until the end, because the 7th law is the most dangerous and the most powerful of them all. If you're ready to learn how to build wealth that no one sees coming, comment below. Silent power is real power. Let's begin. Law 1. Wisdom precedes wealth, the foundation of strategic thinking. Machiavelli opened The Prince with a lesson most people skip. Before you conquer territories, before you accumulate gold, before you command armies, you must conquer something far more difficult: your own ignorance. He wrote, "The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him." This wasn't about networking, it was about wisdom, about understanding that wealth follows knowledge, not the other way around. King Solomon said the exact same thing in Proverbs 4:7. "Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom." Both men, separated by centuries and continents, understood a truth most people still miss today. Money doesn't make you smart, but being smart makes you money. How many times have you watched someone win the lottery only to lose it all within a year? How many inheritances have been squandered by children who never learned the principles their parents used to build that wealth? Machiavelli would say this happens because those people had gold but no wisdom. They had resources but no strategy. And without strategy, everything collapses. Think about this. The wealthiest people today aren't necessarily the hardest workers. They're the most strategic. They study, they observe. They learn from the mistakes of others instead of repeating them. That's Machiavellian wisdom in action. Here's the brutal truth. Most people chase money while ignoring the principles that generate it. They want the result without the foundation. But Machiavelli knew that a prince without wisdom is just a thief with a crown, and thieves always get caught. So before you chase your next opportunity, ask yourself this question: have I studied enough to recognize what's real? Have I gathered wisdom from those who've already walked this path? This is where silent wealth begins, not in the bank account, but in the mind. When you accumulate wisdom silently, studying while others party, learning while others complain, you're planting seeds no one can see. And when those seeds grow into forests of opportunity, people will call it luck. But you'll know the truth. It was strategy. It was Machiavellian wisdom applied patiently and ruthlessly. If you've ever made a financial mistake that could have been avoided by simply listening to advice, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's the cost of ignoring this first law. But here's the good news. Wisdom can be acquired at any age. Machiavelli himself wrote The Prince after losing everything. He turned his exile into education, his failure into philosophy. That's the power of prioritizing wisdom first. And now that the foundation is set, we move to the second law. Because wisdom alone isn't enough. You must also know when to speak, and more importantly, when to stay silent. Law 2. The power of silence and concealment. Protect your plans. Machiavelli wrote, "Never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception." Now, before you recoil at the word deception, understand what he really meant. He meant that revealing your plans too early is suicide. The moment you announce your intentions, you invite competition, sabotage, and envy. Silence, therefore, is not weakness, it's strategy. King Solomon understood this perfectly. Proverbs 17:28 says, "Even a fool is thought wise if he keeps silent, and discerning if he holds his tongue." Both men knew that silence protects your advantage. Think about the greatest investors. Warren Buffett doesn't announce his moves before he makes them. Hedge funds operate in secrecy. Entrepreneurs build in private and launch in public. Why? Because the moment you expose an unfinished idea, you open it to attack. Critics will tell you it won't work. Competitors will steal it. Friends and family will project their fears onto your vision. Machiavelli knew this. That's why he advised princes to conceal their strategies until the moment of execution. And when that moment comes, strike decisively. How many times have you announced a goal only to abandon it weeks later? How many business ideas have you shared over drinks only to watch someone else execute them first? That's the cost of ignoring the power of silence. In Machiavelli's world, the ruler who telegraphs his moves loses the element of surprise. And without surprise, every battle is harder, every negotiation weaker. Here's the practical application. Stop announcing your plans. Stop seeking validation before you've even started. Work in silence. Build in private. Let your results be your announcement. This is how silent wealth is built, not through boasting, but through consistent action no one sees until it's too late to stop you. Machiavelli also understood that silence creates mystery, and mystery creates respect. When people can't predict you, they can't manipulate you. When they don't know your next move, they hesitate to oppose you. That hesitation is power. That's why the most dangerous players in any game are the quiet ones. They watch, they calculate, and when they move, it's already checkmate. Solomon and Machiavelli both taught the same lesson across different eras. Silence is not emptiness. It's the space where strategy is born. It's the shield that protects your plans until they're strong enough to survive exposure. If you want to build wealth that no one sees coming, learn to work like a ghost, invisible until the moment you choose to appear. And once you've mastered silence, you're ready for the third law. Because being quiet isn't enough if you're working in the wrong direction. You need intelligent action, not just any action. Law 3. Intelligent work over hard work. Sharpen the blade. Machiavelli observed something that still confounds most people today. Effort without intelligence is just exhaustion. He watched princes lose wars not because they lacked soldiers, but because they lacked strategy. He saw merchants go bankrupt not because they didn't work hard, but because they worked stupidly. And he distilled this into a principle. The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. King Solomon said it differently, but meant the same thing. Ecclesiastes 10:10 teaches, "If the axe is dull and its edge unsharpened, more strength is needed, but skill will bring success." Both men understood that brute force is the weapon of the desperate. Intelligence is the weapon of the powerful. Think about this. You can work 80 hours a week at a job that will never make you wealthy. Or you can work 20 hours a week building a system that generates income while you sleep. The difference isn't effort, it's strategy. Machiavelli didn't respect hard workers. He respected smart workers, those who could see 3 moves ahead, those who could position themselves so that others did the heavy lifting. That's leverage. That's intelligence. And that's how silent wealth is built. Not by grinding yourself into dust, but by sharpening your mind until every action produces maximum results. How many years have you wasted working harder instead of smarter? How much time have you spent in activities that feel productive but generate no real wealth? That's the trap Machiavelli warned against, the appearance of progress without actual progress. Intelligent work means asking better questions. Not how do I work more hours, but how do I create systems that multiply my impact? This is where modern entrepreneurs dominate. They don't trade time for money. They build assets. They automate. They leverage technology, people, and capital. That's Machiavellian thinking applied to the 21st century. And it works just as effectively today as it did in Renaissance Italy. If you dedicated just 1 day per week to studying business models, investment strategies, and skill development, where would you be in 5 years? That's the power of intelligent work. It compounds, it multiplies, and it does so silently, beneath the surface where no one notices until the results become undeniable. Machiavelli knew that princes who relied only on strength eventually fell to those who relied on cunning. The same is true in wealth building. Those who rely only on hours worked will always lose to those who rely on strategy executed. And now we arrive at the 4th law, because even intelligent work needs protection. You cannot rely on a single source of power, income, or influence. You must diversify. And Machiavelli, like Solomon, understood this deeply. Law 4. Diversify your sources of power. Never depend on one stream. Machiavelli warned, "He who builds his power on the people alone will fall when the people turn." In other words, dependence on a single source of power, whether it's one ally, one income stream, or one skill, is a fatal weakness. Diversification isn't optional, it's survival. King Solomon said it even more directly in Ecclesiastes 11:2. Invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. Both men lived in unstable times. Machiavelli watched Italian city-states rise and fall within months. Solomon governed during a period of regional conflict and economic uncertainty. And both concluded the same thing, The only way to survive chaos is to spread your risk. Today, this principle is more relevant than ever. How many people lost everything in 2008 because their entire net worth was tied to one house? How many employees were blindsided by layoffs because they had only one source of income? Machiavelli would call that strategic stupidity. Not because you're unintelligent, but because you ignored the law of diversification. Silent wealth is built by those who refuse to put all their eggs in one basket. They own multiple businesses. They invest in different asset classes. They develop multiple skills, so when one stream dries up, 5 others keep flowing. Here's the practical application. If you're currently dependent on a single paycheck, you're one decision away from financial disaster. That's not security. That's vulnerability disguised as stability. Start building a second income stream this month. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to exist. Learn a new skill that increases your market value. Invest in assets that generate passive income. Machiavelli also understood that diversification protects you from enemies. If your wealth is visible and concentrated, it becomes a target. But if your wealth is spread across multiple hidden streams, no single attack can destroy you. That's the beauty of silent diversification. No one knows the full extent of your power because it's distributed, invisible, protected. Solomon and Machiavelli both taught this. The wise leader, the wealthy individual, doesn't rely on one source. They build redundancy. They create backup plans for their backup plans. And when disaster strikes, as it always does, they're still standing while others collapse. If you want to build unshakable wealth, adopt this law immediately. And once your power is diversified, you're ready for the 5th law. Because there's one counterintuitive principle that accelerates wealth faster than almost anything else: strategic generosity. Law 5. Strategic generosity. Give to control. This is where Machiavelli's philosophy becomes dangerously effective. He wrote, "Men are more easily conquered by benefits than by blows." In other words, giving strategically is more powerful than taking forcefully. But notice the key word, strategic. Machiavelli wasn't advocating charity for charity's sake. He was teaching leverage through generosity. Solomon understood this too. Proverbs 11:24 says, "One person gives freely, yet gains even more. Another withholds unduly, but comes to poverty." Both men recognized that generosity, when done wisely, creates loyalty, opens doors, and multiplies opportunities. But the fool gives recklessly and becomes poor. The strategist gives purposefully and becomes powerful. Think about this. When you help someone succeed, you create an ally. When you invest in someone's growth, you build a network. When you share knowledge, you position yourself as a leader. That's Machiavellian generosity. It's not about being nice, it's about being smart. The wealthiest people understand this instinctively. They give to charities that enhance their reputation. They mentor others who become valuable connections. They invest in communities that increase their influence. Every act of generosity serves a larger strategy. Does that sound cold? Maybe. But Machiavelli wasn't writing fairy tales. He was writing survival manuals. And in his world, just like ours, those who gave strategically thrived, while those who gave carelessly were forgotten. Here's the balance. Don't hoard everything. Don't give everything away either. Give with intention. Give where it multiplies. Give where it creates loyalty. Solomon warned against withholding when you should give, but he also taught against foolish generosity that impoverishes you. The key is wisdom. Strategic generosity builds silent wealth because it creates invisible networks of reciprocity. People remember who helped them rise, and when you need something, those people become your greatest assets. Machiavelli knew this. That's why he advised princes to be generous early in their reign, building loyalty before they needed it. The same applies to wealth building. Help others before you need help. Invest in relationships before you need resources. That's how silent empires are built, not through force, but through strategic goodwill. And now we move to the sixth law, because generosity without discipline is just waste. You must combine giving with relentless consistency. This is where most people fail. Law 6. Discipline and calculated patience strike at the right moment. Machiavelli wrote, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." But he also warned, never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. Both statements reveal the same truth. Timing is everything. Discipline means knowing when to act and when to wait. Patience means refusing to move until the moment is perfect. King Solomon said it this way in Proverbs 13:11, "Dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow." Fast money disappears fast. Patient wealth compounds. Machiavelli observed that princes who rushed into battle without preparation lost. Those who waited, studied, and struck at the perfect moment won decisively. The same is true for wealth. Those who chase get-rich-quick schemes lose everything. Those who build slowly, consistently, with discipline, become unstoppable. Here's the hard truth. Most people quit right before the breakthrough. They start a business and give up after 6 months. They begin investing and panic sell during the first dip. They learn a skill and abandon it when progress slows. That's why most people stay broke. Not because they don't try, but because they don't persist. Discipline is doing what others won't long after the initial excitement fades.
Machiavelli understood that battles are won not by the strongest, but by the most patient. The prince who can endure hardship, who can wait for the perfect opening, who can strike once with devastating effect, that prince conquers. The same applies to you. Build your wealth slowly. Invest consistently. Learn daily. Don't chase trends. Don't seek shortcuts. Solomon and Machiavelli both taught that quick gains lead to quick losses, but steady accumulation, guided by wisdom and protected by silence, creates legacies that last generations. This is the discipline of silent wealth. No one sees your daily habits. No one applauds your consistency. But years later, everyone sees your success. And that brings us to the final law, the most important one, the one that ties everything together. Because without this seventh law, all the others collapse. Law 7, fear and respect as the foundation. Build your reputation as untouchable. Machiavelli's most famous line is this: "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." But here's what most people miss. He wasn't talking about cruelty for cruelty's sake. He was talking about respect enforced by consequences. He knew that love is fickle. Loyalty built on affection alone crumbles under pressure. But loyalty built on respect, backed by the knowledge that crossing you has real consequences, that loyalty endures. King Solomon taught something similar. Proverbs 9:10 says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom." Fear in this context doesn't mean terror. It means reverence. It means recognizing power and choosing not to challenge it. Machiavelli understood that wealth without respect is temporary. People will test you. They'll steal from you. They'll undermine you. But if your reputation is untouchable, if crossing you carries a cost no one wants to pay, your wealth is protected. This is the foundation of silent power. You don't need to shout. You don't need to prove yourself constantly. Your reputation does the work for you. When people know you keep your word, that you'll reward loyalty and punish betrayal, they adjust their behavior accordingly. That's Machiavellian power. Invisible until crossed, devastating when provoked. Here's how this applies to wealth. Build a reputation for integrity. Keep your promises. Deliver results. But also make it clear, through action, not words, that disrespect has consequences. Cut ties with those who waste your time. Walk away from bad deals without hesitation. Enforce boundaries ruthlessly. Over time, people will learn to respect you from a distance.
Learn. And once they learn, they either align with you or avoid you. Both outcomes serve your power. Machiavelli and Solomon both understood that the foundation of lasting prosperity isn't just wisdom, silence, intelligence, diversification, generosity, or discipline. It's the respect that makes all those strategies work. Because without respect, people will exploit your generosity. They'll ignore your wisdom. They'll undermine your discipline. But with respect, enforced quietly but firmly, every other law multiplies in effectiveness. This seventh law is the lock that secures everything. And now you have all 7 keys. The choice is yours. You've just learned the 7 silent laws that Machiavelli taught princes and that King Solomon whispered through Proverbs. Wisdom first, silence second, intelligent work third, diversified power fourth, strategic generosity fifth, disciplined patience sixth, and respect as the unshakable foundation. These aren't theories, they're weapons. And the question now is simple. Will you use them? How many financial mistakes could you avoid if you applied just one of these laws this week? How different would your life look in 5 years if you mastered all 7? Machiavelli didn't write The Prince for kings. He wrote it for anyone willing to think like one. And Solomon didn't write Proverbs for priests. He wrote them for anyone willing to live wisely. Silent wealth isn't about secrecy for secrecy's sake. It's about building power so strategically that by the time others notice, it's too late to stop you. It's about moving in silence while others broadcast their every move. It's about becoming untouchable through wisdom, discipline, and calculated ruthlessness. So here's my challenge. Choose one law. Apply it for 7 days. Watch what changes. Then come back and apply the next one, because silent wealth is built one disciplined decision at a time. Subscribe to this channel if you want more ancient wisdom applied to modern wealth. Turn on notifications so you never miss a strategy. And comment below, I choose silent power, if you're ready to walk this path. Because in the end, Machiavelli and Solomon both knew the same truth. The poor announce their plans and wonder why they fail. The wise move in silence and let their success do the talking.